You just keep fucking off to the next, huh? Fucking idiot. Fuck it, let's go. I notice the more I do this, the more nerves I strike. Politicians start mimicking my body language. I read somewhere that when they start to copy you, they're intimidated. I don't know. Could be bullshit. Anyways, this episode here is dedicated to my kainga tonga. Brace yourself for this one, eh? And for my non-Tongan speakers, stick around if you want. Your fucking ass just might learn something. Now, first things first. Tapuange mo taloni o tonga. Te whakatapu ki he olo waha tupua, mo moto o e futu ko vuna. Ko I kare o whaone lua, ne mānoa I siumafua uta. Hopo ai la a o tui ha mounga. Tuku lau mea koe laione o malai kula, ke tulo mo taloni o kanu kupolu. Ka te wholai misteri lilo, o kuohili ne fuoloa atu. Tana ngata ia te kita whai ki tua mamao. Nā taku koe lasu pe tala laku laku. Ai tahai mooni e te tala tisio. Ilo he haa vavanga ka kala me hei kau. Koe whaka melo melo o haa mo he ofo. Respects to the throne of Tonga. My respects to the most ancient cover seat. And to the bud of the futu tree called Vuna. The eagle of Whaone Lua. Tede de Siumafua Uta. There rose the son of the royal Hamounga line. The trail has been ablazed by the lion of Malaikula. I beg to be excused before the throne of Kanukupolu for disclosing the hidden mysteries of the distant past. Forgive Atoko as well for speaking his realest thoughts. Don't let what I say be distorted or presumption. The real truth is in one's inherited traditions, perceived by those with insight, full-blown blossoms, harbingers of the Mohe Ofo line. Alright, now that's enough of all that. You miss me? Let's get into it. Welcome to the quick sum-up of this W.MARINER's book. Now this book here, unless you're fucking from there or you need a unique language of these islands, you'll fucking love it if you want to hear some shit about the past. But for me, I'm glad I read the other book by Mr. Selui before this book here, or it would have fucked up my whole mindset and understanding. If that had happened, I don't know if I would have been able to see the things I see. So basically, you could say the book saved my life. And now my dumb ass is trying to be a hero and save yours, who in the end will probably get done like Emperor Nero and Jesus. But I don't give a fuck. Who wouldn't want a name like theirs? I'm trying to live forever too. So to give you a short version of the book, it's basically a book that consists of stories and their connection to Fiji and to Sandwich Islanders. And it shows what the Tonga culture was like at the time. And check this out. It's a fucking dictionary in Tongan and in the Malayan language. Now think about this. Why the fuck do we need a dictionary with words or symbols back then when we couldn't fucking read anything? I mean, you can say it's to fucking document our history, but you also have to take into consideration that there was also a fucking time that when they were writing on these fucking papers, our natives didn't know what the fuck they were doing. True? They could have written anything behind our backs. We cannot fucking forget both sides of the stories. And if you agree with that, then you'd agree that them writing in these books must have looked like some fucking witchcraft shit to them. There's a story in this book and it relates to the vulnerable mindset that I'm fucking talking about. But it talked of a story when the Poro Prince pulled up to Nuku'alofa and attacked them. But at the end of the story, the warriors who were left, who were still alive, who were from Ha'apai and Nuku'alofa, started talking amongst themselves about what had happened. They discussed and explained that whatever they were getting hit with, which was a cannonball, was like an evil spirit. Because when they were inside their houses, they explained how a cannonball would shoot in through to their house and take out a post. Then it'll turn mid-air and try and find them to hit them. But in reality, it was just fucking different cannonballs coming from different directions. It's sad to fucking think a grown man would be that fucking clueless as to what the fuck's going on. But do you get what I mean? You see how vulnerable they were? They were more innocent than you and I fucking put together. I recommend you read the stories in it. They aren't too bad. Now before we dive in some more, I need to show the Kainga Tonga this one part that they deserve to hear. You see these words here in capital letters at the bottom of the page? Where it says he mau mau na e tupu, that part at the bottom. And can you see these? Only the ones in capital letters. Well, something told me to just read those parts only. So I'm going to read it how I felt I heard it. Alright? He mau mau na e tupu. He tau ta e tuku. He tā koto ki mala e. Ko e lolo tō ngā eni. Kua whai bea ha. Taha he fu eiki mo tangata tau kua tō. Ko e loto a hai. I longa pe tangata he mea ko ia ta e lau noa. Tunga mea. Oua namu manatu ki he tau. Ofa pe. Lahi lewa e tau ngou e. Ta tau pe moia he tau toa. Ko e reo mo o nia. Oua si na mo pehe ho mo loto. Mo manatu. Ka rea atu rewa au. Ko e whakaongo atu ia. He loto a toi umu mo a fu. Whiri he mo manako. Alright, by now, if I'm correct, my Tongan people should be feeling some type of way. Good and bad. Fuck I did. But I couldn't trust it yet. But because it made sense, it also taught me something else. You know, all that shit about pirates and their treasure maps and hidden codes and all that bullshit. Yeah, well, I just kind of learned that shit might just be true. So now watch me dissect this motherfucker. So as we get into the first page of the dictionary, off the bat, the first word shown in Tongan as you read downwards is ako, which nowadays translates to ako. And as you read further down the page, it shows a definition for this word ako. If I was clueless as to what Mariner was trying to do, my mind, after reading the definition of ako, will subconsciously begin to learn everything under the word ako. You feel me? This here was one of them. This here was that chess move I was talking about. Imagine that. Is it possible to divide two tribes and to have one tribe hold on to a book with meanings that they have to memorize? In doing that, generations after those who had to learn this dictionary wouldn't have known what the fuck had happened. You know what I mean? Now what does this create? That's fucking easy. It makes the gang smaller, easier to attack, easier to control. You understand? Now let's go through some of these words in the dictionary. So as you do when you find out that the word tu could mean God, you jump straight to the T section of the dictionary, right? To see what it's got to say. So to your boy Mariner, tu meant to stand up or to get up. And yeah, I know that's what it means now, but wait, let me fuck your head up some more. Anybody know what tua is? Or tua is? Of course you don't. Let me try to give you a basic understanding of what it is. A tua or a tua is considered like a demigod, like your boy Jesus. So tua would be God, and tua would be Jesus. You feel me? So in today's society, or in my society, that'll just be a leader in his right hand. Cool? So what the fuck's tua? But not to your boy Mariner. Your boy Mariner reckons tua is the lower class of people. The name of the lowest rank in society. Somebody tell David Tua's cool, homie. I understand. I see it clear now. No wonder your heart's like that. That nigga's got some ancient gods in his blood. But my brothers, understand this. It wasn't fucking us. Know what I mean? It wasn't us that thought these things. You understand? This was their way of disconnecting. This was one of the words that we both held that had power, and they made us use it against you. If we can see those, so our minds just took a step forward. And if you have, Doko, now we on their type of time now. Now we on their level now. So fuck it. If you haven't already, do me a favor and hurry the fuck up. Next we got tupu. Or to Mariner, it'll be tubu. The fucking idiot. So before we see what the meaning has for us, let's figure out what tupu would mean in my world. What's tu? That's right. I see you didn't forget. Now Tonga and Hamoa. Here's where it's gonna get funny, yeah? And you're gonna soon know why that word was made into a cuss word for us. We got the word boo. Boo in Hawaii can mean three things. It can mean the conch shell, it can mean the origin, and it can mean the musket. So, if I were to throw all these things together, we'll make these. Know what I mean? This is what Dubu would have meant in Polynesia in the ancient time. But to your boy Mariner, Dubu morphed into Tupu, meaning to spring up, to grow, to yield, to shoot, a sprout, a bud. I hope by now you're able to see what was planted back then. And I know this might not seem like anything, but I stared at that word bud for a while, thinking if that was a smudge, a typo, or possibly a correction. And the correction came from, I was thinking he was trying to correct it from guilt, because of how it now looked like the word bad. But I wasn't sure, so I kept reading. And next we had the word Tui. What's Tui or Tui in modern day Tonga? Faith, Ni, King. Do you see any similarities in those definitions with the Christian faith? Nah? Alright. Anyways, well, if those definitions are what we know it is now, then what the fuck is this dude talking about in this book? A chief or a tribute? I ain't even gonna attempt that word. But nothing was adding up. Next we had do la. Don't laugh. If la, don't laugh. If la can mean day or sun in my world, what do you think do la would mean? I'll give you some time to figure it out. What do you think do la would mean? What can you make in my world with those symbols? Yeah, that's right. Or now it doesn't take a fucking rocket science to figure out that it could either be a person or probably talking about the sun in the sky. But not to your boy Mariner. That bitch changes it, and now to my children, it's known as Dula, meaning a bald head. Do you see more of the game plan or not? Our ancestors used to stand like this one time, saying it out loud with positivity. And now we say it out loud like this. I don't know if you're gonna see it or not. I'm not trying to change us back or make us go back. Nah, but it's better we understand it together now if we're gonna take a step forward together. We know out of all times right now is that time. Now is the only time I will ever ask you to ever understand. Next we got Duba. In Hawaii, Ba can mean village, stronghold, barricade, wall, fence, fortress. You know what I mean? You get the vibes of the word. So for my smart motherfuckers out there, what would Duba mean in the ancient days of Polynesia? But not to your boy Mariner. That also said Duba meant a window or a small opening sometimes in the house, rather a hole in the fence of a fortified place to discharge arrows through. Chill. Hawaii probably like, what the fuck? Yup, we was brainwashed to discharge arrows at families' houses. But as you can see from their spelling, I'm able to tell that their hearing isn't all the way fucked up. They still hear every single syllable and sound perfectly. They might pronounce it differently, but they know what they hear. For example, we say tapu, tapu. Yet they ran off and told everyone in the world that it's taboo. You get what I mean? That's where the word came from. If you don't know, now you fucking know. So now that I know the hearing is somewhat okay, I found it hard when I came across this word. Tuashina. Because we don't use letters or the sound CH in modern Tonga. So as you do, you take a hit of a joint, sit back, relax, shut the fuck up and concentrate. And so I thought about this word. Tuashina. This word doesn't exist in Tonga, but in my world, I love to sing this shit. In my world, it can either mean two things. Tuashina, which means God of China, or Tuashina, which could represent a China demigod, which basically still means God, or the most talented human beings on the planet at the time. And I can kind of see why. I mean, look at China now. Meditation and brain work has always been a big part of their culture since the beginning of time. While everyone back then was chasing food, bitches, and pussy in the bushes, these niggas was... Alright, okay. I knew, they was doing the same shit. But keeping the mind active was a major part of their culture. I can see why at a time of uncertainty back then, why they may have looked at China as a place where a god or demigod resided as well. But not to your boy Mariner. To Mariner, it was a cousin, either male or female. Also an uncle. Seeing as China is facing the Pacific Ocean, also, it wasn't long for me to assume that China has already been in Tonga since the ancient days. This now made me feel that we've already had ties with China since way back. And the definition here that was created was made like that so that we could commemorate that connection. Again, I couldn't be sure of it. But what I was sure of is that every word with the syllable she in it wasn't good. It was degrading in this book. Everything right now at this point felt like it wasn't making any sense, but at the same time, it was. I couldn't explain it. Like all this US and China competition energy we feel today in the world, I could feel in this book. It was just difficult at the time to prioritize. Next was the word ba tu. It's like the previous word, tu ba, but reversed. And it'll almost mean the same thing. Just the other way around. Like, right? Nah, not to this bitch. To this bitch it meant a scar. A mark of a wound not gained in battle, nor by a warlike instrument. I'm starting to wonder why the fuck these definitions were created. Mark of a wound not gained in battle, nor by a warlike instrument. What the fuck does that mean? A scar from accidental shit or some shit? I don't know. But I don't see any point in creating this meaning. It's fucking insulting. Now remember when I told you in the last video what va meant in Tonga? What is it? That's right, temporal distance. Well, in the 1800s when this book was created, there was only one meaning written for the word va at the time for Tongans, and it meant a piece. And it was only applied to wood or trees. That was funny considering other islands had already had their own fucking meanings, and they had a few definitions for the word va as well. Again, something didn't fucking feel right. Next was the word lau. Do you remember what the word lau means? Leaf, or leaves, right? Not to your boy Mariner. Let's look at what he was implanting in the children. Lau meant to nip or to pinch. So think about what move they created. If others in the Pacific wanted to plant something to leaf, they were brainwashed to pinch and to nip it. You understand? Wake up. So at this point, nothing felt right. So I went back to the start of the dictionary to get a clear pic of what I'm picturing. I saw this word, atu, which in Tonga today means exactly what it says here. However, I thought about the word, atu, for a bit. In my world, it can mean of God. However, Mariner has now made them terms we use on the second and third person. Do you see more of the game plan? Type below I see if you can. Next we got this. But check this out closely. That word bua in Polynesia means flower or blossom. In Hawaii it can mean child or offspring. And in Māori it can mean all those things, and it can mean also the seed of a plant. So you can kind of get the feel of that word, right? And yes, it'll mean all those fucking things. Only reason why I'm thinking why it's like that, right, is because Earth would have just been fucking speechless to be in, that you couldn't come up with new words for things, leaving you to just categorize everything. But I'm always open to being wrong. So yeah, now that we get that word, the next word gets interesting. We know it as buaka, meaning pig. But in my world, it's buaka, meaning this. Know what I mean? So all of these words here, all these titles here, don't exist, and they all fall under the word pig. Know what I mean? Look at these. And all these countries knew Polynesia for these until they came and changed it. But I want you to keep a close eye on the places where it says it probably derived from, yeah? Check this out. Only Samoa and Hawaii will understand buaka or buata. And listen, just fucking listen. I'm gonna keep saying this shit till I fucking start hearing it out there. But there is a fucking reason only those two cultures were meant to hear Tonga say buaka. It subconsciously did something to them that we both didn't know. It's a fucking genius idea. And they turned it into something that we eat all the time. However, at the same time, they fed us a book that talked about pigs being the dirtiest animals on the fucking planet. This made me fucking laugh a little bit. Made me think these Christians back then were just fucking around with us. Experimenting on how to fucking create a culture. Or how to create separated cultures. On do I felt fucking played. I'm gonna understand one thing about your language. I don't know about all words, but from what I know so far, the apostrophes in your language is Tonga's letter K. For example, bua'a, buaka, fa'a, faka, i'a, ika, and etc. Know what I mean? Told you we're closer than you think. And Tonga, if you still don't believe me, look at this. This was in Mariner's book. And we both know this is how Hamoa be when they're surprised. So basically anything in this book with the syllable tu is insulting. And nothing about it felt fucking right. You know what I mean? Now this is my favorite. Because I felt like Malcolm X in this fucking moment. We got here the word ma. Ma means white. Ma also means clear, pure, immaculate, and sheer. Alright. I'll stop. Because I know some nerves will get struck in. But you know what I mean. Now somebody fuck off and tell Spike Lee I need my Malcolm X movie. I need my scene, Toko. You know that part where he's in jail reading what the definition of white is in their old dictionary? But this is our similar version in our dictionary that was provided by them. I hope from this, our brothers and sisters in America can see our connection. As we in Samoa and the rest of the islands in the Pacific are connected, so are we to America. But you know what? Out of all these strange looking words and definitions, this one got me the most. The word tu'ulu. Now, seeing as by now you motherfuckers can put two and two together, what would this mean? And no, I'm not talking about falling down, tripping over tu'ulu. Nah, what the fuck does it mean here? That's right. Nah, you're right. But not to your boy Mariner. You ready? You ready for this one? To this motherfucker, it now meant. What the fuck? My eyes were opening slowly to a few possibilities at this moment. Now 3 things came into my head. 1, that the decapitation of the snake's head tactic shown in the National Defense Strategy book has been a tactic in America that dates back hundreds of years. 2, our guards got their heads chopped off. And 3, maybe in the olden times they would literally cut your head off. And in modern warfare these days, the chessboard is much larger. And now they would decapitate by bombing the capital of your country. I wasn't sure which one it was, but I was sure it's gotta be one of them. But I kept going. But now I felt the words I've been using my whole life were words made by Mariner. All that shit I said in the start about feeling my whānau after that speech from Toi Umu went out the fucking window. I then went back to the speech to check it out some more. I decided to translate it into English, because reading it in Tongan gave me different vibes. Distracting vibes. But in English, it meant, from the wastes that grew, from the non-stop war, where we laid in the open fields. That's what it is right now. And so what is it? One of the great gods and war men have fallen. And whose wish was it? It shows only on the men who was really foolish. Everyone, don't you think back to the war. Only love. Then we'll have a great big garden. Same for our toa. That's the real voice. Don't be like that inside you. You remember that if I'm speaking to you, It's the spirits from within Doi Umu and Afu. Choose what it is your desire. Now it's kind of different when I hear it in English. Know what I mean? This speech in the unique Tongan language, I could hear a smart king who knew he didn't have enough firepower and strength to outsmart his opponents, so he did whatever was necessary to keep his people safe. But when I read it in English, all of a sudden, I now could hear a cheeky sailor man trying to fool me. A cunning Christian trying to weaken me. But the only reason why I wasn't drawn to the first conclusion was because it read, one of the great gods and war men have fallen. And I know for sure that numbers came from the British. So I kind of felt that it may not have been his words. You feel me? Sometimes I'm so good I scare myself. Then I realized the word Doi Umu and realized the symbol. I wanted to know what this symbol meant, so I searched it. Yo Siri, what the fuck does this mean in the world? It said it was from Albania. So now there's a few things I learned from this. Either Mariner knew of the country Albania, or it knew him, or he and his gang possibly could have created these symbols for their language. I don't know, but there was for sure some kind of connection with Mariner and Albania. It also taught me that that symbol was pronounced Ah, or Ah, in Polynesia. That means Doi Umu is really pronounced Doi Umu, meaning brave underground pit. And so now that I thought I resurrected a brave warrior whose real name was Doi Umu, my only question now was, what the fuck happened to this nigga? Then I looked back at the word, Doi Umu, that I kept saying before. And somehow I felt, and I only felt this because of all this literacy trickery shit, but I felt that he might have ended up in a Umu, but I couldn't be sure. But it did make me think about the Umu Tangata side though. Shout out to them niggas. But my beautiful people, I will say this though, that even if it is the voices of Doi Umu or Toa Umu and Afu, it's the ending that always gets me. Whiri whiri he mo mana ko. And so I want to say this, and I'm only saying this once. Ka take o whakamoremore I au ka inga tonga, but I have made up my decision. Go cop the books, check it out, give it a read. Only way for our children to hold on to all of us is if we figure out our real history. If all these things in the book were created to divide us, think about all the pages they've got that have the truth on it.